Welcome to this micro lesson on using Paint to create graphic text for your online training content. So the first thing we need to do is to run the Paint program. Paint comes together with Windows. So in Windows 10, we go to the search bar and we click in the search bar and then we type Paint. And once we have typed Paint, Windows will show us Paint as an option. It's an app. We click open. So this will now open Paint. I'm just waiting for it to open Paint. And once we are in Paint, yes, we are now in Paint, we click on the text icon here. It shows the letter A. We click on this and then we come and click anywhere in our white space here where we can type. I want to give my course a title, so I'll call it my first. It's a lesson. It's not really a course. Let's call it my first lesson. Size of the letters, I want it to be relatively big. Since it is a heading, I can choose the size. I can also choose the font. In this case, let me choose a size of 36, right? And a color. I want to choose blue for this. I just feel blue would be appropriate. So I click on the color blue here where there's a color palette. And then I type in my first lesson. Right. There you are. I've typed in my first lesson. Then I just click anyway outside that box and it's now typed. It's permanent. What I want to do now is I want to put a box, a rectangle around the title because that will look nice, I think. So I bring my mouse here where we've got different shapes. I click on the rectangle, but before I draw the rectangle, I come over here and choose the color red because I want it to be red. So now I come and then close my text with the red box. Doesn't that look nice? Yeah, well, I think if that blue was a little bit darker, it would be nice, but for the sake of demonstration, I'll leave it at that. So the next thing I want to do is to trim this and remove all the white space around here and only leave my title and its border. So I come here where it says select, I click on the down arrow, I choose rectangular selection, and then I go to the top left hand corner, just outside the border, I click, I keep my finger on the mouse pad, on the mouse key, and then I drag it to the opposite corner, to the bottom right corner. So there you are. It is selected the text and you can see the matching ants around it. Great. So the next thing I'll do is I'll click on crop. So crop, just make sure that my heading is selected. So there you are. That's my heading. Isn't that nice? So the next thing I'll do is to save this. File, save, and then I navigate to a suitable folder. So in this case, maybe let me call this folder, I'll give it I'll create a new folder and I will call it my first lesson. So let me type that, my first lesson. Right. So that's where I want to save it, right? And then I will call it, maybe let me call it, okay, just a moment. My computer is a bit slow. Yes, I'm in the folder. So I'll give it a name now. Let me call it lesson title. How's that? Lesson title. Obviously, if you're having a real lesson, you'll give it a real name. So now, let me see how I'll be able to send this to my participants using the platform of WhatsApp. So supposing I go to my group, in this case, I'll just send this to my other WhatsApp number. So I'll go into a group where my students are, right, like this. Let me reduce the size of this window. So there you are, nice and neat. And then I go to the folder where I saved the title, where I saved that graphic text. I'd saved it where? I can't find it now. All right, I think I have to go up here and get into content. Yeah, it is here. My first lesson, there we are. And there you are. So that's the graphic. All I need to do is click on it, keep the mouse button down as I drag it. I drag it right into the window for my WhatsApp web and I release it, right? And there you are. I drop it here and nice and neat, and I click send. So this is how I will start my lesson, by sending to my students the heading of the lesson, my first lesson. And that was created using a free tool, and that tool happens to be Paint, and it is in Windows. Great. Thanks for watching. I hope you've learned something. Now go and try it. Do it on your own. See what you can produce.